大家晚上好，请进来我的赏处，这是我的图书馆。Good evening, everyone, and welcome to my library, my China library. Excuse me. I've been thinking for a while now about China's recently publicized push to get its citizens reading more and the national push in that direction, even in the fact of expanding reading locations, libraries, reading rooms, used bookstores, those kinds of things. Used book sales this April have been huge in different parts of China. And this year in April, they observed for the first time what they are calling 全民阅读活动周, which means National Reading Week, which ran from April 20th to April 26th. And it was a large government-backed to some extent, government-sponsored to some extent, push to get people into reading, into being interested in books. It coincided, of course, with World Book Day, April 23rd, which I already posted about. And the initiative, it stems from a new regulation on promoting nationwide reading, and in Chinese this would be called 全民阅读促进条例. And they're formally designating the fourth week of April every year as National Reading Week, and supporting building a 书香社会, which is a great phrase because it means book-loving society. Who doesn't like those? And some of the statistics that came out of that for the country of China specifically is, adult comprehensive readings rate reached 82.3%, and per capita books read, print and digital, was 8.39 copies. Digital reading boomed, which isn't that surprising considering the current climate as far as people being able to much more easily access a lot more books on your tablets and whatever. 80.8% of adults were engaged in such, 689 million users, with the market nearly doubling to 59.48 billion yuan. And print books, of course, are still popular. 45.9% preference, especially for those books that would be considered literature. And so, yeah, it's been an interesting time as an observer on the other side of the world for me to read the posts and the updates on Chinese social media about people's love affairs with books and getting back into reading and exploring the many, to be honest, fascinating looking bookstores and reading rooms across China that, of course, I would love to visit them. So yeah, it's the end of April now, but there's still a lot of people posting about the national reading push. And because it coincided with World Book Day, um, it became a worldwide event because those that don't read, obviously, in Chinese are able to pick up books in whatever language they're reading. And on April 23rd, the World Book Day, I also went, actually on the 26th, excuse me, I went to two local bookstores and picked up a few books. And I felt like I found some really interesting ones. One that I picked up, and it's not because I love dogs, because I don't, but I've been looking for a book about the Chinese dog called the Pekingese. And I ran across one. It's in really good condition. It's called by Rumer Godden. It's called The Butterfly Lions, The Pekingese in History, Legend, and Art. And it's an older book, put out by the Viking Press of New York. And it was actually copyright 1977. But it's a nice hardback edition. A lot of illustrations throughout. Lighting is terrible in here. I hate that, but I don't know how to fix it. Sorry about that. And so, yeah, I'll be interested in diving into the book and learning about this animal that has always been specific to China. Another book I found, which I didn't really think too much of it at first when I picked it up, is this one called The Sextants of Beijing, Global Currents in China's History. And it is written by a woman named Joanna Wiley Cohen. And I thought, oh, this might be an interesting one. It's in good shape. It looks pretty nice. And it's detailing the story of the Catholic missionaries and also the Chinese who, long before the Catholic missionaries ever got to China, were studying the stars and building observatories and doing all these astrological experiments, astronomical as well as astrological experiments. And just a side note, there are people that believe that very likely one or two of the wise men was probably Chinese, because they were tracking the stars long before the rest of the world was doing so. But the thing that really sparked my interest once I actually looked at this book that I'd purchased was the fact of the lady's name, Wiley Cohen. And Cohen, of course, is the Jewish spelling of my own last name. Cohen is how it's spelled in the Jewish tradition. Koehn is how it's spelled in the more German tradition. And Waley, Waley. I thought that sounds familiar. What's going on with that name? And so I looked it up and discovered that this Joanna Whaley is a professor at Princeton, I believe. But she is a great niece of the immensely well-known sinologist Arthur Whaley. In Chinese, his name is Yaso Whaley. He was born in 1889 and he passed in 1966. He was an English sinologist and Orientalist who spent a lot of time in China studying Chinese culture, wrote quite a few books about it. Translations from the Chinese by Arthur Whaley is a book I have here in my library, and it is one of the gold standards for many people, even today in China studies. And he was one who did a lot of translation work from the Chinese into English of their works of literature. So anyway, back to this book. Joanna Wiley Cohen is his relation. And so that's kind of interesting because I had never thought about the fact that he would have descendants who were not only still living, but still heavily involved with China's history and studying China study programs at universities and such things. And so, yeah, I spent a couple hours, an hour at one bookstore and hour at another. And because of the specificity of the day, they were more packed than usual, which was great to be able to visit with other bibliophiles and, share ideas and excitement and enthusiasm for these things we call books. This is the last day of April, and it's been a good month overall. I've enjoyed it. It coincides with my birthday and the fact of it being a month of literary things and literary events, and Chinese Language Day, which was a while back. And it's been a good month overall, and just thought I'd get on here and share a little bit of what I'd been thinking about in the book world. So, hope you all have a good day or night, wherever this finds you when you perchance run across my video here on YouTube. BookTube. I've not really become part of BookTube yet, but it's been a thing for a long time, so maybe I am doing my little part here with my China library. 再见。